You're not alone. But what if one man's secrets could change the game of cyber warfare forever? In this video, we're uncovering the story of the man who sold zero-day exploits to governments. Deals made in the shadows that shape global security. Before we dive into this hidden world, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss deep dives into cyber secrets and high-stakes tech stories. Let's get started right now. The zero-day market. Zero-day exploits represent some of the most valuable commodities in the cybersecurity world. These are attacks that target previously unknown vulnerabilities in software, giving attackers the ability to compromise systems before developers can create and distribute patches. The term zero-day refers to the fact that software vendors have had 0 days to fix the vulnerability since it was discovered. The market for zero-day exploits operates in a legal gray area. While discovering and reporting vulnerabilities is generally considered legitimate security research, selling exploits to government agencies for offensive purposes raises complex ethical and legal questions. Prices for high-quality zero-day exploits can range from tens of thousands to millions of dollars, depending on the target software and the sophistication of the attack. Marcus Weber, a German security researcher, became one of the most prolific suppliers in this underground market. Unlike many vulnerability researchers who worked for established security companies or participated in legitimate bug bounty programs, Weber operated as an independent contractor, selling his discoveries to whoever was willing to pay his asking price. The researcher. Weber's journey into the world of zero-day exploits began during his university studies in computer science. He had always been fascinated by the challenge of finding flaws in seemingly perfect systems, and he possessed an almost supernatural ability to identify subtle programming errors that other researchers missed. His academic work focused on reverse engineering and vulnerability analysis, skills that would prove invaluable in his later career. After graduating, Weber briefly worked for a traditional cybersecurity consulting firm, but he quickly became frustrated with the limitations of corporate research. He wanted to pursue more challenging targets and have the freedom to investigate whatever software caught his interest. More importantly, he realized that he could earn significantly more money by selling his discoveries directly to government clients rather than working for a salary. Weber established himself as a freelance security researcher, initially focusing on popular consumer software like web browsers and office applications. His methodology was meticulous and scientific. He would spend months studying the source code or binary files of target applications, looking for patterns that might indicate potential vulnerabilities. When he found something promising, he would develop a working exploit and thoroughly test it to ensure reliability. Building a client base. Weber's entry into the government market came through a contact at a European intelligence agency who had heard about his work through cybersecurity industry networks. The agency was interested in acquiring capabilities for monitoring suspected terrorists and criminals, and they needed exploits that could be used to compromise targets' devices remotely. Weber's first sale was a browser exploit that could be used to install surveillance software on targets' computers, simply by convincing them to visit a malicious website. The exploit was elegant and reliable, working across multiple operating systems and browser versions. More importantly, it was completely undetectable by existing antivirus software because it exploited a vulnerability that no security vendor knew existed. High-value targets. As Weber's reputation grew, his clients began requesting exploits for increasingly sophisticated targets. Instead of common consumer applications, they wanted capabilities against enterprise software, mobile devices, and even specialized industrial control systems. These requests often came with correspondingly higher price tags, sometimes reaching into the millions of dollars for particularly valuable exploits. One of Weber's most lucrative discoveries was a vulnerability in a popular mobile messaging application used by hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The exploit allowed attackers to remotely access a target's device, including their messages, contacts, location data, and even the ability to activate the camera and microphone for surveillance purposes. Weber spent over 8 months developing and refining this exploit, ensuring that it worked reliably across different device models and operating system versions. He also created sophisticated obfuscation techniques to help the exploit evade detection by mobile security software. The final product was so valuable that multiple government clients entered into a bidding war for exclusive access. Another significant success was Weber's discovery of vulnerabilities in enterprise email systems used by major corporations and government agencies. These exploits could be used to gain persistent access to organizations' internal networks, allowing attackers to monitor communications, steal sensitive documents, and move laterally through connected systems. The ethical dilemma. As Weber's business grew, he struggled with the ethics of his work. Though he saw it as helping governments, he worried his exploits were used to target dissidents and activists. He feared criminals might also steal them for harmful purposes. Governments defended his work as vital for security, while researchers argued hiding vulnerabilities endangered everyone by enabling both friendly and hostile attacks. The investigation. Investigative journalists and cybersecurity experts uncovered Weber's vast cyber weapon trade, revealing he sold exploits to over 24 governments worldwide, both democratic and authoritarian. Some exploits were used against political opponents and civil society groups. Worryingly, some tools have been stolen or resold to criminal groups. Weber also ran a complex money laundering scheme, using shell companies, cryptocurrency, and legitimate businesses to hide his profits. The consequences. Weber's exploits sparked debate over ethics and regulation in cybersecurity. While some saw value in his work for defense, others warned it made everyone less secure. Companies boosted bug bounty programs, but government payoffs remained higher. Governments considered rules to control cyber weapons. Weber left the trade due to legal risks and misuse concerns, moving to privacy-friendly countries and focusing on legit cybersecurity work. Alright, that's a wrap on the story of the man who sold zero-day exploits to governments. A glimpse into the dark side of cybersecurity and power. If this fascinated you, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. And for more eye-opening tech stories and cyber mysteries, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss out. Catch you in the next one.